I'm on a mission to make hemp protein as common as flour in our foods. Think about how much better it would be if we replaced this with actual protein. How much
Yeah.
more satiated you would be, how many aminos you would get in your stomach. What really is to scale Agoge way past just a bag and a protein, but as a food ingredient across the board. Hemp is going to be a major crop for us. The beauty of it is that it really cleans up the soil. This is our entry point to this very, sustainable hemp future. It's going to be a multi-trillion-dollar industry. And when I saw the opportunity, I was just like, it turned out to be hemp.
Welcome to Step Into the Light, the podcast where stories of struggle become stories of strength and pain transforms into power. The show is proudly sponsored by Project Icon. I'm your host, Jack Lima, and I can't wait to share today's conversation with you. I'm your host, Jack Lima, and today I have joining me is Justin Moore from Agoge. Hey, Justin.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Great day to be alive, isn't it?
It's an amazing day to be alive.
This weather in Arizona is just perfect time of year, isn't it?
I'm sitting outside, no screen, just absolutely perfect. It's amazing.
You probably couldn't do this in Chicago right now, could you?
I don't think there's much of the country you could do it in. I know they're getting snow already in Wisconsin, so I was like, no, I'm good. I'll just chill right here.
I was in Boston last week and went to a football game, and it was getting cold already. I mean, this is what we live for in Arizona, right? From basically November until April, correct?
Perfect. Even May.
All right, Justin, can you share with my listeners a little infomercial about yourself real quick?
Yep. Justin Moore. I live here in Arizona. I work at the High Fit Club with Jack. I started a supplement company a few years ago when I moved out here called Agoge, and we make a hemp protein. It's really innovative and delicious. Before that, I did my MBA in entrepreneurship. Before that, I did a bachelor's degree in marketing, worked in private sector, and before that, I was in the Air Force. I was a C-130 jet engine mechanic. That's real quick. That's my little bio.
So how do you go from Air Force into building a powerhouse protein line? How does that even happen?
Yeah. I think what it was, the military, it gives you really cool building blocks and discipline, right? So anything about starting a company is discipline. There's no one there telling you what to do. You have to have self-discipline. There's no boss. If you're the CEO of the company, you're the founder of the company, there's no one who's telling you you have to do this, you have to do that. You have to be very self-driven. And so I would say that the correlation is that amount of discipline I picked up in the Air Force is what helps me to be an entrepreneur. So I keep my hair high and tight. I wear the same clothes every day. You always see me with an Agoge t-shirt on. So I literally implement what I learned in the military into my thing, because that way I have fewer decisions to make every day, less things to worry about. I can focus on the very important parts of the business, and I don't have to care about what I'm wearing today or what my haircut is or any of these things. What time I'm eating. Everything's prefixed, so I can just focus on that.
Yeah. Well, you're on your packaging, you actually just repackage it and you added the tagline, the goat of no bloat. It's such a fun tagline, right?
Yep.
How does that capture the spirit and the mission behind Agoge?
Well, we were sitting around, and it was the team Agoge and our branding team, and DZ from the Family Vibe here in Scottsdale. They do a great job, real creative bunch. And we were just like, okay, we got to have a cool tagline. We haven't found one yet. We don't know what it's going to be. And we said, okay, why do the customers who are by Agoge continue to buy Agoge? And I said, every single person I talk to, they tell me that it doesn't bloat their stomach like all the other proteins. And they ask me why, and I say, because it only has organic ingredients. It only, does nothing artificial. It's only plant-based. It's vegan. And then he's like, he's a big sports guy. He's like, we're like the goat of no bloat, like the greatest of all time. We're the goat of no bloat. And I was like, oh, huh. And then I was chewing on it for a few days, and then my cousin heard it, and then I was like, wow, that's a really, because it does is it quickly and in a fun way captures the value prop of the product that, most likely it's not going to cause bloating.
It's I actually have firsthand experience with it. Back in August, I was getting ready for a fitness show, and I was buying proteins from Lifetime, GNC, and thought it was vegan was the way to go, obviously. But I didn't realize that in bodybuilding, you got to watch your sodium because that holds water. And I couldn't understand why I was going over my sodium every day. And I was eating 4 meals a day and I was doing 2 protein shakes a day, but I was going over probably about 2,000, if you want to call it, milligrams of sodium per day, and I couldn't understand what it was. And then I didn't really pay attention to the labels of these proteins, right? And you think Lifetime Fitness, it's a reputable company and they got, not a lot of fillers in their protein. And I couldn't understand why my sodium was so high. And my coach saying, watch your food. I go, I eat chicken, fish, rice, and oatmeal. Where does the sodium come from?
Yeah.
Never thought to look at the protein contents. So I actually looked at the protein contents and it says 2 scoops of protein is 1,000 milligrams of sodium. And I just blew my mind. I'm like, that's explaining why I can't shed the water. I thought I was having 2 replacement meals, but it was making worse. So one day I was at the Hive Fitness Club here in Scottsdale, and your product Agoge was on the shelves. I'm like, hemp. I've never heard of hemp protein. And I remember grabbing my first bag and I looked at the back of it and I looked at the ingredients and I saw the sodium, it was under like 200 grams of sodium. I go, how can that be? And so I ended up buying it, not knowing who you were at the time.
Yeah.
And I used it for my prep for 6 weeks before my show. And I just shed water like crazy. And I finally got to meet you one of the Saturdays at the gym. You were doing a little passing out samples at the table. And I
Yep.
went up to you and I go, this stuff changed my competition. Obviously, no
Thank you.
no bloating from, like you said, but the sodium intake was so low and I was blown away about it. And I'm still on it because I'm not competing. But why do these other protein companies get away with putting so much sodium? Is it just cheaper to make the protein that way?
It's certainly cheap, right? Basically, salt you
Yeah.
can weigh down because ingredients are the most expensive part, right? The protein.
Yeah.
But at some point, someone made a decision to put that much salt into it, which I would never approve. So
Right.
I take it personally. My family takes it. My daughter takes it. I've always wanted to take. I mean, I live on hemp protein, and it is the one that I'll forget. I'll take it, and then I'll forget. I was like, did I take one earlier? Where if I have an old shake, it's just like I would be like blah 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 blah. I know I got a protein shake in my stomach where my
Yeah.
guts just And then I started, what was when I started Agoge, it was like started digging into how the supplement world works and the types of people and how they cut corners and how, you really have to look for organic. Like that's organic
Yeah.
and then third party tested. Those are things now that are where I'm at. So our new product is all that.
What's the one non-negotiable you built around Agoge and why?
Yeah. Well, organic, right? So that's our big one right there. So part of why I started Agoge is to get not just being a supplement company, but it's to be a hemp company, a sustainable crop company. I got into hemp when it became federally legal in December of 2018. I was like, wow, I was starting over from my previous startup, and I was like, well, I don't want to join an industry and be like the old guy, and then and have to start with the 20-year-olds and work my way up. I was like, if I would go to a new industry that's brand new, then I can be an expert in that field if I hang in there for a few years. So I decided to get into hemp, bounced around different areas, Nevada, things like this, and then I wound up, realizing that the hemp protein is going to be a huge opportunity. And then it just lined up that I moved to Arizona and it really aligns with my fitness and the yoga I do and the friends I have. And all of a sudden, it's like this brand just came alive, and now it's like this really fun, yoga, Pilates, gym, high look at ingredients, organic, and that's where I get back to organic. It's the one thing is that once you're certified organic, that cuts a lot of the nonsense out, right? So that's always will be organic in everything we do.
Other protein companies that say they're organic, are they legally lying when they say they're organic, even though they have all these fillers?
Um, no, because if they're certified USDA organic and it has the circle and the logo,
Yeah.
if they just write organic on it, I don't know how well that's policed.
Yeah.
So I would always look for that USDA certified organic because if they get that and they break the rules, there's heavy fines and there's
Gotcha.
actually, you can get in trouble for doing that. So writing organic is cool. There's not really a claim to that as much as, you could say it could be like one ingredient and it could be organic type of thing. There's kind
Yeah.
of games they play. So I would go with just this USDA certified organic seal.
Yeah, because I see a lot of protein tubs out there that say organic, but I don't think I've ever noticed the seal. So it's kind of like, you know, kind of a little bit deceitful marketing, if you will, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
we'll always have this seal. That's
yeah,
a standard we set, and that's where it, you know, we're that brand that has these things.
So when you started the company till today, every journey has its dark moments. Starting in any business, right? What
Oh yeah.
what challenges tested you through this journey?
Yeah, this past year was a challenge. We had our product originally, the hemp, is coming in from Canada. And we're majorly funded through a grant from the USDA. So two things happened. A 25% tariff was put on the product,
Mm,
and
yeah.
then our grant funds were frozen for several months
Mm,
at the same time. Um, so that was actually exciting. Learn how to
I bet.
juggle, So basically, what happened, you juggle, flaming, But it was like it was one of these situations where we really had to dig deep. I have some really good mentors who helped coach me through it. We managed to move and switch the protein source from Canada to Kentucky, so we're able to remove the tariff. Yep, yep. Good hemp being grown in Kentucky.
You
Some
think of
great
whiskey,
farmers
not
down
rainbow.
there. Yeah, yeah, it's a bluegrass
Yeah,
state.
yeah,
Here we go.
yeah, yeah,
And so we've got some really good partners there, all manufacturing is stateside. Um, and obviously the grant, we went through the Doge audit, everything was cool. They can't let us keep the money. And then there was a government shutdown. That hopefully that ends over here very soon. So keeps you on your toes.
yeah.
You just have to really realize that it may not happen today. You have to grind it out, keep pushing, don't give up, because sometimes you feel helpless when there's things that are out of your control. And so
Yeah.
I just go lift some weights. You see me at the Hive, I just go in there, lift some weights, sit in the sauna, vibe, really meditate on it and just put my pace. And then things work out usually. But I
Yeah.
found for someone with high energy like me, it's very difficult when I'm just like stuck, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And then so
Yeah.
I've found healthy ways to, pass the time.
Yeah. I don't have that great of a patience when it comes to stuff like that too. You're like, you want it now, today, today,
Now,
today.
now,
Yeah.
if we just get
I'm
this
not,
one thing signed or this one wire
yeah.
sent, we could do it. We
Always
could do it.
one,
Let's go.
one
Let's go.
thing.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did a new taste test on Saturday at the Hive. Um,
hmm
what is the feedback from that taste that you have now compared to what you had in the past? Because I notice a difference, but what are you hearing?
Oh, the feedback on the new stuff is
Yeah.
excellent. And the key change that we made is that we removed the guar gum. And so we initially, it was our first run on the first batch. We used the guar gum as a mouthfeel, basically to make it creamy. And then we decided to go change that out and do a organic coconut creamer. So it's just a very light. And so what you were tasting is the difference is the coconut creamer, mouthfeel and taste and smell. So that's where it's just once they brought us that formulation, because you sit down with the scientists, the flavor chemists in this lab, and they bring you
Yeah.
this iteration. You play this game for a whole day. It's a lot of fun. And then when they brought those out, I was just like, wow, knocked my socks off. I was like, this is a big improvement. And so we were able,
Yeah.
like, again, to switch the protein supplier. Now we got a very strong supply chain for scale.
And the goal is to eventually go international or stay national. What's the goal?
Yeah, so the goal right now is we're working through all the paperwork with Amazon because about half of all supplements are sold on Amazon and we're not on there yet.
Yeah.
But we really wanted to make sure that we got that things just right before we went to Amazon. So this is our second batch, and we improved it in every way from what we learned on the first batch. So now this one's got the Amazon COA, it's got the third party testing, it's got the organic. It literally has everything. We put the ingredients around the front. The go to no bloat is our tagline. It's trademarked. That's on the front of it too. And we really wanted to show the Agoge logo so people know that's our brand. Before it was kind of confusing, I think, with the bags, and but now it's the logo and we're solid. So now it's that, and then we're going to go after Amazon major retail, and we're going to continue to focus on direct consumer, affiliate marketing, and just kind of scale out from there. Major retail is going to be a big part of it.
So if I'm a potential client, how do I find you? Okay.
And then in about 2 or 3 weeks, hopefully, we'll be on Amazon. But it's just agoge.com, Agoge Protein. Try Agoge is our Instagram handle. That's where we're putting up all of our funny videos and really, actually, some really good recipes. So if you like dates and organic snacks, we have a great chef out in Colorado, and she makes packed with Agoge Protein snacks and recipes.
Yeah, so you also, one of the vendors at the gym is using your protein to make the protein balls.
Yep, the protein bliss
So,
balls.
yeah, is there any way that your followers or my followers can actually get the recipe because a lot of them don't live in Arizona? Is that something that you can't give out?
I don't have the recipe. I couldn't even
Uh,
give it out, but they probably send somebody after me if I did, you know what I mean? They'd rough me up if I did something like that. I'd
that
have a
stuff
slip
is
and
good,
fall.
man.
I would have a slip and fall if I gave that recipe
Yeah,
out.
that stuff is good.
It's
You can't
I
keep it in
cannot
stock.
I cannot eat less than two at a time. I mean,
Yeah,
just one. And when we did that event, the private event we had, they made a platter with the new version. They
yeah.
did a vanilla and a chocolate, and I've had probably eight of those vanilla ones by now. They're all gone. I don't know.
All gone.
They're so good.
Yeah, I had the vanilla one too. It was really good. For anyone feeling stuck or sluggish, right? What's one easy win they can try to boost energy and start stepping into the light?
You got to get in the gym. You have to
Yeah,
exercise. The only way I made it through, crashing and burning on my first startup and losing, basically you lose all your money, you lose all your ego. Yeah, the ego gets killed, and then once it's over with, you're like, oh man, first time? Yeah, cool, rock and roll. So all the
yeah,
ego goes back, and then the second time you can move a lot faster because you're not carrying all that ego weight, right? You
yeah,
literally you're just about decisions and moving fast. And then when people have issues and they argue and they want to bring you into all their drama and stuff, you just you're not mean. I just don't have time. We have to move
yeah.
very fast. And so once you've gone through that, the things that you used to care about, you realize how unimportant they were, and then very clearly what's important. And all of a sudden, it's like, gosh, more time with family. Pick up that phone when mom calls, on and on and on. And now I feel so fulfilled. So, getting knocked off that high horse in Southern California, that was the best thing to ever happen to me.
Yeah, it's funny once we get, especially if a new relationship, right? You stop doing the things that made you happy, right? Maybe go to the
Yep.
gym less, maybe hang out with your buddies less, right? In the businesses, you're spending so much time because it's your baby, right? Now you're not going
Yep.
to the gym. Now you're getting tired. You're getting lethargic. And now you have an excuse. Well, I have an email. I have a conference. I have a call. And now all of a sudden that what got you there is now put on the back burner. And just like
Yep.
you and I, we help fitness is the foundation of our success, right? Keeps you motivated because at the end of the day, when you're in the gym, your isolation is what you're focused on your workout, staying healthy, staying strong. And then you get home, you can let that fitness side go away and focus on your work. A lot of people are
Yep.
like, how do you work out for 33 years and stay fit? And it's a mindset, right? It's all
It's a
mindset. And
complete
a lot of
mindset.
people think about like, well, how do you stay so lean? Well, I don't sit at the office chair in my office and eat snacks all day long and don't exercise. I bring my meals to work, I prepare them before, and I eat. Be like,
Yeah.
well, that's hard. Well, anything in life that's worth anything is hard. And they just want an easy pill. Take me a pill. Oh, write me a workout. Go to the gym, do your cardio, and eat clean. That's hard. Okay, then what'd you expect? And
It's
in the fitness world, that's military is like that too. It's structure, it's fitness, it's academics, it's
Yep.
obviously staying focused on everything else. And obviously the military has led you to this point where you're successful, right? So in the future, what is lighting you up right now? The success of Agoge. What did you? I'm gonna rephrase that. Where do you see this movement going next?
So part of what I mentioned with the grant that we received from the United States Department of Agriculture's organic department is to help create this just hemp protein, not just as a supplement, but as a main food ingredient in all of our foods. So the more
Mhm.
hemp we grow, the more our soil gets repaired, the more food we have. So basically, I'm on a mission to make hemp protein as common as flour in our foods. Think about how much better it would be if we replace this with actual protein. How much
Yeah,
more satiated you would be, how many aminos you would get in your stomach, all the good things that come along with that hemp protein. And then the soil would be that, and then the air, because it's so good at bioremediation. So it really is to scale Agoge way past just a bag and a protein, but as a food ingredient across the board because the way, and then the stems, can be made for concrete, building materials, plastics. I mean, hemp is going to be a major crop for us, and we can grow it organically. The beauty of it is that it really cleans up the soil. It goes, the roots go down 6 feet deep. So this is our entry point to this very, sustainable hemp future. It's going to be a multi-trillion-dollar industry. And when I saw the opportunity, I was just like, it turned out to be hemp protein. I'd spent 9 months and living in a lab in Nevada and learning about hemp. My dad was like, "You have so much knowledge, you have to stick with hemp." And he convinced me to do it, the old man. And he's just like, "I told you." And I was like, "You're right. You're right." I stayed in the game. And so the excitement is that he himself would like to have a farm hemp one day because you can do it organically. You're not around all these pesticides. A lot of farmers are afraid to farm because of all the chemicals. They don't get cancer. And then you have to grow their stuff. And it's this horrible cycle. And if we can break that and grow organic, we can reduce cancer, we can reduce inflammation, we can remove it and make, more farmers want to farm and grow hemp. So this is very big, something very exciting. That's what I'm super excited about.
Yeah. You're basically first to the space when it comes to fitness and nutrition, right? With this?
In our space, yeah, there's old bags of like ground up hemp seed protein stuff that's been around for a while. A couple of
Yeah.
smaller brands out of Canada, but we've aligned with a branding agency that's works with Taco Bell and other billion-dollar companies, and we've really spent the last 2 years literally driving around in my car in Arizona, in Scottsdale, and handing out samples and listening to all the feedback. So this new version is built with all the feedback from the first that we were falling short on. And now we understand our product market fit, our voice, and now we can put the funds behind it and really scale it up and the distribution behind it and all the certifications and the third party. So um, it's really at that inflection point where it's going to scale up. It's going to be really exciting to watch this all
It is
happen.
exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely tell the audience out there that, I'm very picky with proteins because most proteins, depending what brand you get, does bloat you, right? And then sodium. And so uh, I would tell you that if you have an opportunity that you need protein in your diet, to go on Justin's website and order the bags, as we call them, protein bags. The flavor I like best is the vanilla, but you have other flavors too, which is, what were the other flavors you have?
So we have actually unflavored, it has only one ingredient, so it's just the hemp protein. The second one is the matcha, so it tastes like a matcha latte.
Yeah,
We have chocolate, very, light, clean, rich chocolate, and then the vanilla, which is, I think, kind of my new favorite now. I gotta be honest.
yeah,
I opened up that bag and I was like, oh my gosh, this smells like cake batter. But
yeah,
I put one of those glass whole milk from Sprouts with the glass jar that's all thick. I poured a
yeah.
big 2 scoops in that and I hit it with a frother, and I was like little kid having a milkshake. It was so good.
Yeah. So, what's your best seller? Is it the vanilla or is it the
It's
mochi?
been matcha. It's been
Matcha?
matcha. Matcha's
Yeah,
got this huge, appeal right now, and we use a pretty decent quality matcha, organic matcha powder. It's got 50 milligrams of caffeine per every scoop, which is 15 grams of protein. So you can get a little jolt of energy, get your protein, boom, get your workout in. There you go.
yeah, yeah. I love it. All right,
Yep.
Justin, until next time, uh, good luck with your endeavor. And I know it's going to be successful. I'm a big fan of it. And I'm sure
Thank
my
you, sir.
leaders and listeners would also like to find out how to buy it. And we'll put it online for them to look at it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Take care, buddy.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.